Rose Riddle Fairy Tale Detective Collector's Edition is currently free from Prime Gaming via the Legacy Game Store until the 22nd of May 2024. Prime and Legacy are still talking to each other. Good to know. I've actually reviewed Rose Riddle 2 previously on the channel, and not surprisingly, this is basically the same game, but keep watching this video? That'd be nice. This is a point and click puzzle game, though not with traditional puzzles like most of the games we get from the Legacy Game Store. This is more a resource management puzzle game, presented in a cartoonish isometric view with comic book style cutscenes. The look of the game ties in with the narrative of the game, so I'm going to break with tradition and talk about that first. You take control of Rose, a detective that wants to find her parents, who abandoned her at birth. You discover though that they're actually the king and queen of a fairy tale kingdom, which is a standard child's fantasy of like being a prince or princess. The cutscenes and slight expository dialogue at the start of each level feels like it was written for children. It don't always make a lot of sense, and it's pretty simplistic. There is the odd nod here and there to taking the mickey out of standard tropes that is directed at adults, but they're not that great, and you don't want to play this for the story unless you're under 10, maybe not even then. The graphics match this vibe. Characters are cartoons with oversized heads. Everything's very colourful and everything bounces up and down a little bit. Very reminiscent of the old Looney Tunes type cartoons. Thanks to this being the collector's edition, I can tell you that there are 6 background songs, one of which is the main menu theme, so only plays then, and they cover basic genres like jazz and westerns and country. They're fine. I think they might have benefited from slightly longer loops, because if you spend a lot of time on a single level, they do start to grate a bit. This whole style of presentation just isn't for me. It's a bit too childish to appeal really, but there's nothing inherently wrong with it, it's just me being grumpy. The gameplay is a bit less child friendly if you want to play it on anything but the easiest level. On each of the 48 main levels, you're presented with a static screen with clickable items, and 2 characters that can collect those items and perform tasks to open the way forward to complete your objectives. That's where the resource management puzzle comes in. Each barrier to your objective requires some combination of the 5 collectible resources to open, as do your objectives themselves. These resources are generated in a couple of ways. They either appear at intervals on the map, or they need a resource generator to be fixed, which is either a table or buildings, which also need some of those resources to fix. On later levels, the buildings can be upgraded to produce more resources, but regardless of how they're generated, you have to click on those resources to collect them. This is where Rose and I think Porters come in. Both of them can collect resources, but only Porters can repair structures and remove obstacles like holes or traps. Rose can't do that, but she can interact with helpful NPCs or examine the clues that are your objectives, or use a gun for some reason. She can also upgrade the car where you start from to generate more porters at later levels, also costing resources. Clicking on objects on the map queues up actions, and that becomes part of your strategy if you care about achieving a good score. In addition, each level has a number of soda pop resource generators that you need to make functional for the level to be completed. Soda pop is a kind of special resource that allows you to use power-ups, more of which unlock as you progress through the levels. These power-ups give you temporary bonuses to speed your gatherers up, get additional resources when you collect for a bit, recruit a temporary extra pair of hands, or just freeze time for a bit. These are key to getting more stars basically a better score on a level, as long as you use them at the right times. Let's talk about the stars. If you play on standard or hard difficulty, you have a countdown timer that gets shorter the harder the mode. And there's gold, silver and bronze stars on there. Take too long and you start to lose stars. Typical gameplay, you know, best time 3 stars, worst time no stars. Running out of time doesn't fail the level though, so you don't actually have to get any number of stars. If you want a chilled out experience, you can just ignore the timer completely and do what you want to do. But part of the appeal of these type of games is the challenge to complete everything on 3 stars. There are achievements in the game, though they call them awards, and you do get some for completing levels with 3 stars. There's a multitude of them. I'll put some of them up on screen now. So there is some incentive beyond the challenge of a thing to complete everything as well as you can. If you want to achieve 3 stars, especially on later levels, it definitely becomes a challenge. You need to plan out the route you're going to take. Typically there's a choice of routes, and if you choose the wrong one, you'll end up just waiting around for resources while your timer ticks down. If you're going for those 3 stars, you're probably going to be restarting the level a fair bit as you learn which route you need to take. Because stuff queues up, as I said earlier, you do need to consider the order that you click on objects and not to click on everything on screen. You've got to bear in mind that porters move first, so you probably want to be clicking on something that needs a repair and then click on something to collect, so you send the porter to repair and Rose to collect, because the other way doesn't work. You also don't want to open up a new area but have like 6 things to collect lined up so you don't utilise the new area. If you keep all of those in mind and you use the soda pop power-ups properly, even on middle difficulty, I found it hard to get gold stars in every level. I played all 48 levels plus the 12 bonus levels you get for being a collector's edition, and I did that all in one go. It took me around 9 hours. Like I said, I didn't even try to get gold stars on every one of them. That would take ages. 9 hours in one go is too long to play. Not enough really changes as you progress to keep things interesting for that sort of sustained period. I reckon this is a far better game to just dip in for a bit now and then. The resource management puzzle levels give you is challenging to get gold on, and I found the gameplay fun, especially for the first few hours. Like I said, it became too repetitive and taking a break would have solved that issue. Obviously the story is nonsense, but it's fun, kids can play it too and might actually enjoy the story. So I recommend giving this one a try to see if it works for you. Just don't do it all at once. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.